If you've been watching over the meta recently, you'll have no doubt heard of Voiceless Voice. The OCG is finally seeing a shift away from the Snake Eyes heavy meta, with pick rates of like 11% in some OCG tournaments. So it goes without saying that Voiceless Voice is a force to be reckoned with. I'll be covering everything you need to know about this deck, from the core pieces of it, the deck list, some new support that's come out in Legacy of Destruction, and a combo to get you going. Let's dive in. The heart of this deck is a Ritual Summon deck, which you can do multiple times per turn with Voiceless Voice. Two of the core pieces of it are Skull Guardian, Protector of the Voiceless Voice, and of course Low, Prayers of the Voiceless Voice, which synergize so well. Low is the main combo starter and is the key to Ritual Summoning. Ideally, this is what you want in your opening hand. This will be the key to controlling the field, pulling off the Ritual Summons, and generally overwhelming your opponent. Saphira, Dragon Queen of the Voiceless Voice, has a few uses, but most importantly, this will let you Ritual Summon even more monsters. Saravis, Dragon Sage of the Voiceless Voice, is a card worth mentioning. It's definitely not the most important card in this deck, but it can be pretty helpful. It can special summon itself by sending 2 cards to the graveyard, which can make all the difference when you're stuck in a tricky situation. Here's the big boy of the deck. Skull Guardian, Protector of the Voiceless Voice, is an old school nod to the original Skull Guardian ritual monster, just way more powerful. This doubles its attack to a whopping total of 4,100 when Low is either on the field or in the graveyard. And if that wasn't enough, you can even negate card effects with it if you control Low. This card's nuts. Barrier of the Voiceless Voice is a continuous spell that goes hand in hand with Low. This will be the first spell you bring out with Low's effect to search for a spell when it's normal or special summoned. It will protect your light monsters from card effects and force your opponent to redirect attacks to ritual monsters as long as Low is on the field. Radiance of the Voiceless Voice is a pretty strong card if you get it to pop off. It lets you shuffle out ritual monsters or spells from hand or graveyard to either special summon or search for a Voiceless Voice monster. But a cheeky little bonus of this is the second option that lets you wipe your opponent's field if you have enough light monsters to do so. Now those are the most important pieces, but the rest of the deck list can be seen here. I'll also leave the spells and traps here too. The main goal of this is to help you control your opponent. Feel free to pause now and copy this down, or click in the link in the description for a written version of this deck tech. Super Polymerization works great to scoop your opponent up. I would highly suggest this in your list, but equally, this deck works pretty well without some of the really pricey cards on this list. I wouldn't fret so much if there were a few cards missing from this. Keep in mind, deck expression is king. If you're not keen on this list, then switch out some cards, drop a comment below of some of the cards you think that work well in this archetype. If you're already familiar with competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, then you'll already know about some of these optional upgrades. There are strong arguments for all of these, so all are worth popping into your list if you have them lying around. Hot off the press, there are 2 brand spanking new cards from Legacy of Destruction. Saphira, Divine Dragon of the Voiceless Voice, is a level 7 ritual effect monster that can be ritual summoned using Blessing of the Voiceless Voice. When your ritual monsters, warrior or dragon, are targeted for an attack, your enemy has to make a choice whether they want to lose a card from hand to be able to attack you. Blessing of the Voiceless Voice is the other card. You play this as a continuous spell and it lets you bring back any Voiceless Voice cards from graveyard or the Banished Zone. On top of that, after normal or special summoning a non-ritual monster, it lets you ritual summon a monster from hand. And that newly ritual summoned monster cannot be destroyed by battle. Though it is worth mentioning here that while it can't be destroyed, you can still lose life points on attacks. Thank you so much for watching so far. It'd be a huge help to us if you could drop us a like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. How have you found Voiceless Voice? Have you been winning against it? Have you been winning with it? And if you'd really like to support the channel, why not check out the website and the link below? We sell everything Yu-Gi-Oh TCG, including Legacy and Destruction. You never know, you might get lucky and crack a Saphira or Blessing. Who knows? Anyway, let's get back to the combo. Let's put this all together and show you how the main combo of this deck plays out. 1. Normal summon Low, Prayers of the Voiceless Voice. 2. Use Low's effect to bring out Barrier of the Voiceless Voice. 3. Activate Barrier's effect to add Saphira, Dragon Queen of the Voiceless Voice to hand. 4. Discard Saphira with its own effect to send 1 ritual spell to the deck. I would send Prayers of the Voiceless Voice in this case to add Skull Guardian Protector of the Voiceless Voice to hand. 5. Use Saphira's effect to banish it from the graveyard to ritual summon Skull Guardian Protector of the Voiceless Voice by using Low as the whole tribute. 6. Once Skull Guardian Protector of the Voiceless Voice is activated, you can activate its effect to add one Voiceless Voice monster or ritual monster to the hand. In this case, we will choose Sorovis, Dragon Sage of the Voiceless Voice, since this effect allows us to block any card effects that would target our monsters. 7. Since Low was in the graveyard by the time Skull Guardian Protector of the Voiceless Voice was summoned, you can summon back Low to the field. 8. Now Low is on the field, Skull Guardian Protector of the Voiceless Voice gains double its attack, meaning it has 4,100 attack. Not only that, but because of Barrier of the Voiceless Voice, your opponent can only attack your ritual monsters now. 9. Finally, if your opponent can break down your defenses and whisk one of your monsters away via its card effects, you can always rely on Prayers of the Voiceless Voice, since it allows you to ritual summon Sorovis, Dragon Sage of the Voiceless Voice, for free from hand. It's crazy how much the deck can really pop off, but one of the issues it has is when it's matched up against Fire Kings. Now that is one tough archetype to compete against. You need to know exactly how to interact with that and when to interact with it. You should really learn how that deck plays, which you can do right here.